Hello and welcome to the nervous system part 2. In this video, we will be discussing the neuron part functions, the sympathetic nervous system, and parasympathetic nervous systems. So first, we are going to be talking about the neuron part functions. So we are going to be looking at these five parts. So the first part is the dendrite, which receives impulses from the previous neuron. Then we have the myelin sheath, which helps to supply the nerve with insulation as the electrical impulses are conducted throughout the neuron. Then we have the nucleus, which contains the genetic instructions of the neuron, basically a cell nucleus. And then we have the axon terminal, which transmits electrical impulses to the next neuron. And then we have the cell body, which houses the nucleus of the neuron. So in my previous video, I discussed where these parts are in the neuron. Next, we're going to be talking about the sympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system is a division of the autonomic nervous system, and it controls the fight or flight response when faced with danger, so an adrenaline release. And then in the system, digestive functions are decreased to save energy because the body is in a state where it feels like it's in danger. So because of this, oxygen is increased, so we are intaking more oxygen, and because of this, blood pressure and heart rate both increase. Also, it's important to understand that in this function or system, adrenaline specifically is released, as again, because it's helping the body escape some sort of danger. Next, we're going to be discussing the parasympathetic nervous system. So, in this system is again also a division of the autonomic nervous system, the ANS, and this function was discussed earlier in the previous video. And in this system, the rest and digest response is enacted when danger is not present. So the body is in its normal state and isn't trying to save itself or escape any danger. Because of this, digestive functions are normal, so they might increase again because in the sympathetic nervous system they decrease, and heart rate and blood pressure both decrease to normal rates. So everything is normal and the body is in a zen state. Question time. Which part of the neuron provides insulation? I'll give you 5 seconds to answer this question. If you said B, you are correct. So first we have the cell body. This is incorrect because as we learned earlier, the cell body houses the nucleus. Then we have the nucleus itself, which is again incorrect because this part contains the genetic functions or genetic information found in the neuron. And then we have the axon terminal, which basically is connecting the first neuron to the neuron after, so that would also be incorrect. So the answer is myelin sheath. And on a side note, the myelin sheath is made of myelinated nerve tissue, which is a neuroglial cell composition. Next, we have which of the following occurs when the body's sympathetic nervous system takes over? If you said blood pressure increases, you are correct. So the first choice is oxygen intake decreases. This would be false because this would be what happens in the parasympathetic nervous system. Because the body is in a relaxed state in this system, so the oxygen intake decreases to the normal levels. And digestive functions increase. This would also be part of the parasympathetic nervous system because in the sympathetic nervous system, the digestive functions decrease to save energy. And then finally, adrenaline is withheld. This is incorrect whatsoever. So, because in the sympathetic nervous system, adrenaline is produced so that the body can escape whatever danger is present. So the answer is D. Next, we have which answer choice correctly states the function of the neuron's nucleus? I'll give you 5 seconds to answer. If you said A, you are correct. The nucleus of the neuron contains genetic instructions. So B says provides energy. This would be incorrect because this would be the function of the mitochondria, which is part of a cell. It's the powerhouse of the cell, which is not the nucleus. And then receives electrical impulses. This would be incorrect because this would be the dendrite, and transmits electrical impulses would be the axon terminal. So those are the other parts found at the beginning and end of the neuron, respectively. And finally, we have what happens to the heart rate when the body's parasympathetic nervous system takes over. I'll give you 5 seconds to answer. If you said A, you are correct. So it decreases to normal rates because in the parasympathetic nervous system, the body undergoes the rest and digest, meaning no danger is present, the body is relaxed, everything is normal. B says it fluctuates. Now, that would be like saying it increases, then decreases, then goes to different rates. This is incorrect because, again, the body is in a normal state. And then C says it increases to normal rates. That would be false because heart rate generally increases in sympathetic nervous system, then it would decrease to normal rate. So that's incorrect. And all of the above is incorrect because, as we stated earlier, B and C are both wrong. So the answer is that heart rate decreases to normal rates in parasympathetic nervous system. Thank you so much for watching and stay tuned for the next video.